Good morning. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. Markets are up today. We got a few exciting things to talk about. Now, this podcast wasn't signed for 100 million from Amazon, but somebody you know was. If you're out there, all you Swifties are having a good day. But we talk grains, livestock, a little bit of interest rates. Let's take it to LaSalle Street before we get to the gossip. Markets are trading up today. Nice to quote the board up here. I got to look at my iPhone because I'm working from a laptop here remote. But show us what we have. We have corn up 2, Board of Trade wheat up 4. Some big action in the cattle and beans were right out of the gate. They went up 9. They're only up 4 now, but live cattle up 100. See how those feeders are doing. Not too bad, up 70. Little volatility in the stock market as we move over to Wall Street. We have gold down, silver down, crude oil down 90 cents. Wall Street is, and interest rates are going up. This week, we have a 2-year auction, a 5-year auction, and maybe even a 7-year auction. That's all that fancy stuff, but we could talk about that maybe in premium on how the United States government has billions and billions and hundreds of billions of auctions. That's how we get money to pay for all this stuff, folks. All right, let's bring them in the show. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 guests. I don't know. Let's bring them all in. Connor B. Brady Huck sitting there. If he wants to come in, we'd love to have him. I feel so official in a sport coat. You look underdressed, Connor.
I gotta tell you, I'm always underdressed compared to you. You look great. You probably don't have any makeup on.
I have zero makeup on.
Well, but, you look great. So great job on RFD TV.
Thank you. We had we're camping down here at the KOA,
and I look like you're roughing it. You look like you're roughing it.
I thought I was going to do the live stream from the KOA, and I've been jumping in Ubers and coming over the old RFD TV studios. But why don't we read the headlines, ask for some questions, do a little call to action. I know we all have a lot of work to do, and a lot of people have questions. So break down the headlines. Sorry I was late. I was just on RFD TV with my friends over there.
No problem at all. Yeah, let's jump right into it. We got quite a few headlines. Main one, we'll bang it out. Exporters reported 127,760, very specific number, metric ton of corn for delivery to Mexico during 24-25. Good to see. We saw export inspections come out today. They're pretty in line with last week, but we'll keep taking those flash sales. Right, we need the exports to come back. Other one I had, Tommy. Let's jump. I think you had before we get to that one. Let's look at weather. I don't know what it's like in Nashville, but it is hot and muggy. And I believe you had Mick Carr on yesterday, correct?
Yeah, he's going to come on today. Yeah. And I couldn't hook up with him yesterday. We got a little busy, but Mick's going to come on today, and we're going to talk about this hot weather and how long it's going to last. And look at that. And it is August, folks. Full disclaimer here. It can get hot at the end of summer. Right. For most of us, it's been kind of mild. And there's been timely rains. At some point, we actually wanted some heat, right? It was too cool. Friends up north are begging for the heat. How widespread is this and how long, right? Have you looked into it?
Yeah, in terms of looking at heat, I think it's going to last through the week. And then looking at temperature too, right? I'm sure we've had very good weather this summer, right? The futures price reflects that. But I bet a lot of people are thinking, you know what? I would take one more rain to get this soybean crop finished. And you said it best. Looking at the Dakotas, right? That was the story. Was that last week? Maybe it's 2 weeks. Time gets away from me. Where if they weren't going to get any heat, right? That early frost scares, right? They needed that extra heat to get this crop to finish. So looking at this map, they're not really getting the super hot temps that you're seeing. Good thing you're in Nashville because it looks like Valparaiso is getting hot.
Yeah, we're going to be 100 down here. Hey, I have some breaking news here.
Let's do it.
Richmond Fed -19, expected -14, last -17, lowest since 2020. Richmond Fed just came out, and it's just a number. We had a 9 o'clock economic data number, and that's that. So we'll give you today's news today. What else do you have, my friend?
Speaking of weather, have you? I swear I've been seeing this more. I don't remember seeing it before. Corn sweat. Have you seen these headlines anywhere, Tommy?
Yeah, well, I know if I was a little corn plant, it's going to be hot out there. I did have a client call the other day, and he's like, "This crop's going backwards real fast." But as you know, almost very little of the country's in a drought. You would think we have some moisture down there. I'm not so sure how deeply rooted everything is. People, we can handle heat. We grow crops in all types of wild places. I think we could actually handle the heat better than the cold and moisture. What do you think, Connell?
Right, right. Yes. And when I say the corn sweat, it's these weather stations saying the extra humidity, right? I think my phone said I think it's a high in the 90s. It's going to feel like 105 in central Illinois or something like that. And it's because when this corn crop is finishing, it's dropping the moisture, it's adding to the humidity. Now, I have not looked into the science. If you think this is crazy, drop us a comment. But I've seen that comment a lot. Just the extra humidity is due. We're going to see that in the corn belt. And so interesting to see. I didn't know if you saw that anywhere, but
Well, they're putting out stuff everywhere. It is that time of year. I think we get distracted sometimes. We really need to be focusing on harvest, and that are we going to store or are we going to sell it off the combine type of price action? I know we can
sure.
get distracted. Our good friend Dave Lechtenberg did a nice special on premium. He's out at the Farm Progress Show. If you're out there and you're a Dave Lechtenberg client, go out to the Farm Progress Show. We were going to go out there. I'm not too upset we're not out there. It's going to be hot. I didn't feel like live broadcasting out in the heat. Time to talk soybean options. Last Friday, Dave Lechtenberg and I sat down on Premium Talked Options. It's fitting because now the market's rallying, and we talked about how you have to manage that option. If you do have a soybean option on, there's a chance, depending on when you put it on, there was a lot of gain. Now, unfortunately, with a put, you're gaining because the market went down. But we need to do something with that money and send some of that home. So with that, what else do you have, my friend? Questions,
Yeah.
comments, anything else?
We had crop conditions come out. It didn't, they're declining a little bit on this heat, but it didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, right? Crop conditions are well ahead of last year. Crop's still on a pretty good pace, but we'll see how this heat affects the soybean crop finishing. Other one I have headline on Reuters, just looking at Argentina, right? Brady and I talked about, right? We pretended we had to give some bullish points because we felt we were so bearish leading into the show. And we talked a lot about the trade focusing on other areas, right? Brady mentioned Ukraine and how they're seeing very little precipitation. I mentioned South America. And then we see this headline just looking at Argentina about how 6-7 months ago, the fear was that leaf hoppers disease. How was their corn crop going to finish? Now the story is they're really going to cut back on corn acres. Number one, due to that corn plague, that leaf hoppers disease, but then also a little bit from rain outlook. So Argentina right now looking at a much bigger soybean crop, right? Argentina, number one exporter of soy meal. They process all their soybeans in-house versus Brazil or us in the United States. But looking at a bigger corn crop is what they're saying right now, Tommy. Soybean crop, I'm sorry.
Soybean crop, yeah.
Soybean.
And you're going to see a lot of spreading. I have to admit, to see soybeans close on the high yesterday and corn only a penny off the low, after seeing the Pro Farmer numbers, as telling a friend, they could give you the numbers they can give you the answers to the test and you could still get it wrong, right? I mean, impressive how markets have minded their own. If we're on this show on ATI Pro Media Live at 9 telling you this, we're probably not the only people to know this. And although there may be people hearing this for the first time, but oftentimes a farmer's going to look at something and say, oh yeah, that's really bullish corn. They're they're gonna look for any reason to find something
Absolutely.
bullish right now. And it's I had an interesting conversation too, and I'm sure you're having these with clients, but they're getting upset, depressed, angry. Older clients are getting angry. This isn't how I wanted to finish my career, and I don't really know how to answer those. Maybe we're just that ear to listen. There's not a lot of times when our phone rings, we just listen, and we can't change the situation, but at least we could listen to the situation. And that's all I got to say about that. How about you?
Yeah, well said. Looking at, I got a fact for you. Looking at Argentina, looking to knock off an estimated 2 million hectares, 4.9 million acres off corn planting. Of those 2 million hectares not being planted, a large part will go to soybeans. So interesting. You said it well. A lot of times, if we can see the headline, the trade sees it, right? If we can see it a long way off, usually the trade's ready for it. But interesting to see. We'll be talking a lot in the next coming months about corn soybean rotation in Brazil and Argentina and how that crop's doing. The trade will really focus on what is that soybean crop going to look like in Brazil, especially. So
Yeah.
interesting.
Hey,
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, it's nice to see wheat up. We can go up a nickel about 20 days in a row just to go up $1, right? 5 times 20. You think about that. If wheat goes up 5 cents a day for 20 days, we're at $5.99 Board of Trade wheat. We got a long way to go, folks. But don't ever lose sight that these markets can go up. And if we continue to go up, we have a little face ripper short covering rally possibly in the works right now. What were you going to say, Connor B?
Yeah, I wanted you to break down. You pop this in. Walk us through your girl Taylor Swift's boyfriend Travis Kelce. Good time. Signs deal with Amazon for $100 million. So this is interesting. And you talk about this, Tommy, but $100 million. Travis Kelce, I looked up his salary. He's the highest paid tight end in the NFL, right? Deservedly so. He makes around $13-15 million a year. So put that in perspective. When's our deal coming, Tommy?
Well, let's break it down. Amazon is owned or a majority share by Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife, Mackenzie. And if you ever see Mackenzie on the internet, you might want to hang out with her, one of the wealthiest women in the world. But it's interesting how the who's who of the elite, Taylor Swift, doesn't surprise me. Jeff Bezos owns the is it called the Washington Post? That's interesting. So when you have one of the wealthiest men in the world by a media company, the Washington Post, and then Taylor Swift, by far one of the most powerful women in the world, who's dating a pretty cute little football player. The podcast, the amazing part of this is that it almost costs nothing to do. And so when you look at their podcast, it's filmed on Riverside, and they're just like in their offices and bedrooms, and the kids are coming in. I mean, I've looked at their setup, and there's not much more than a couple $1,000s setup. So the point is, I'm really bullish live streams. I'm bullish this. I'm bullish that although it's fun to be in Nashville and be at RFD TV studios, we can hit play on our own platform and watch the people tune in. So I was getting a cup of coffee. I saw this headline. I'm like, maybe we're on the right path. So I'm not sure what ATI Pro Media is worth. That there is talk around the office. It's anywhere from $0 to $1. So maybe call it 50 cents. What do you say, 50 cents?
I don't know. It seems like a low valuation. I was going to say $1.50, but
well, if you throw in the hat that Brady always wears backwards, that might give it a couple dollar value. But yeah, there's media's changing, and the way people receive media is changing. I was camping this morning, and the first content I consumed was at 5 this morning on my iPhone, and I have a Sling account, and I went over and watched a little CNBC, got bored with that real quick, and I flipped over to Bloomberg, and that's where you start, that's where I start digesting news and information for the show. So how we consume information and on what device, it's changed, and I don't think we're going to go back the other way. So I think it's absolutely fascinating that these two gentlemen did this. There's also the gal from Call Her Daddy. She was a spinoff of your boys, Barstool Sports, signed with Spotify for $60 million. Joe Rogan, obviously kicking butt, taking names. And it's just a new world. And there's some people who get it, some don't. But I'm excited to be a little part of it in the ag community. I mean, I meet people. When I was up at Hefty Field Days, I actually had people address, like, I love watching you and Connor. I love watching Brady and Connor. And the fact that 1 year ago we started this, I don't think a lot of people knew who Connor Bridgman was or Brady Huck. And I met a farmer friend at the Porter County Fairgrounds. He said, I like watching your morning show. And he lives 7 miles from me. I didn't know he knew we had a morning show. So whatever we're doing, we're going to keep doing. To the folks out there, what can we do better? Obviously, we do premium. We enjoy doing that. And that little bit of education every day during these tough times is maybe just what agriculture needs, my friend.
Yeah. And speaking of premium, I think today, right, give you a little preview. I think it's time to revisit crop insurance, Tommy, right? We're going to have the final number in October, but where is your crop insurance floor at, right? It's going to depend very much on geography, right? Depending on what your yield is at. But I think we need to put a couple things in front of our customers, in front of premium subscribers. So I think that's Absolutely. What, if I can convince Brady to come on with me, maybe
he will, or I will too. Kurt Struber put out that great email yesterday just talking about that. And, it's we have our commercial department, our farmer marketing department, and we have a lot of information flowing back and forth. So let's take that little tidbit he gave us, make it a premium, and give people that little nugget, $30 a month, $1 a day. www.atipromedia 1-855-737-FARM. Info at ATI Pro Media. How do you like that for an infomercial? Questions, comments, or do we get out of here?
I don't think
Joe
we have
says wrap it up.
Joe says wrap it up. 16-minute mark. Get the heck out of here.
Well, we didn't even talk politics. Dear Lord, we'll get that some other day, right? I don't, it was a quiet news day. And with that, Tom Grisafi, Nashville, Tennessee, Connor B. Brady Huck was waiting in the wings. We never brought him on. As always, ask us a question or comment. If we don't get it during the live show, we can grab it on the back end. Oh, I see my phone ringing, but it's probably just one of those places that wants to renew my auto insurance. So first day here, looking for the button to get out of here. Gina G is going to close it up. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for
Have a
joining.
good one.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.